Tech Lead, the next story is about how artificial intelligence is changing our lives. And I'm not talking about asking Siri, what's the weather, or Alexa, how tall is Mount Everest. I'm also not talking about the Terminator-like robots from Boston Dynamics that can do hardcore parkour. This story gets to the challenges AI poses to the heart, or maybe the head of humanity. Need someone to write a Shakespearean sonnet, or a college essay, or a company-wide email? There might now actually be an app for that. And as Tom Foreman tells us now, he might have written most of the story.
Allowing cars to drive themselves, composing songs that mimic popular artists, and producing this digital painting that took the top award at a Colorado art show. This is all the work of artificial intelligence. Computers that don't just do what they're told, but in a sense think, learn, and create. And right now, ChatGPT is rattling the AI world, turning out stunningly humanoid writing. Just ask Douglas Rushkoff, a renowned author and professor of media culture.
It is writing better than most of my students write at this point. I'm college freshmen. So yeah, I am impressed with that.
How does it work? ChatGPT has been filled, in a sense, with a massive amount of information. Imagine the biggest library you can, then programmed and trained by humans to process and spit it out in conversational phrases. So, ask for 1,000 words on the early days of automobiles, and in seconds it responds. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, automobiles were relatively primitive by today's standards and were primarily used by wealthy individuals or businesses. Ask it to write a sonnet in the style of Jerry Seinfeld. I'm just a stand-up comic telling jokes on stage. I make them laugh, and that's all I do. But sometimes life's a joke. It hits me low, and then I take the mic and say, who knew? It's not perfect, but it can debate, compose essays, solve math problems. Well, that looks right. Write computer code, answer follow-up questions, even admit mistakes. And all that means ChatGPT, or more advanced AI like it, could replace people in all sorts of positions.
This could potentially save time and resources, but it could also lead to a loss of personal connections and a decline in the quality of these types of interactions.
We know that because everything Rushkoff said just there was written by ChatGPT when asked about potential problems with itself.
The answer it gave me about the dangers of GPT, that sounded like a pretty good television guest to me,
This is genuinely a game changer. This is one of the bits of technology, remember, where you heard about it first, because this is going to change your life. It does have some problems still. Yeah. Its knowledge so far only goes up to 2021, because it's not Googling this information, it has it inside. But they're also working on a more advanced version. Nothing will convince you more of what this does, though, than to look at this, Jake. This is a screen of ChatGPT where I wrote in a simple questionnaire. I said, write a short letter for a software company job application. I'm friendly, like movies, and although I have no computer experience, I once worked at a zoo. Put it in, and in moments, it spits out, Dear employer, I'm writing to express my interest in the software company job opening. Although I have no prior experience in the field of computer science, I'm a quick learner and eager to start my career. One of my strengths is my friendly personality, which I believe would make me a valuable asset. But in my previous job at the zoo, I enjoyed interacting with visitors and providing excellent customer service. In my free time, I like watching movies, and so on and so on. This letter was created right now as we watch. This isn't in a memory bank somewhere. It wrote this using artificial intelligence. It can write essays this way. It can write poetry this way. I had it earlier today write a very touching, sentimental letter to my 93-year-old mother about missing her at Christmas time. That's because I wanted to see if it could do it, and it wrote a very credible letter. This will change your world, because suddenly it's going to take a lot of writing, as Rushkoff notes, that maybe we don't always want to do, my mother's letter aside, and say, I will do that for you, and you can write the things you care about.
How do you get ChatGPT on your...
Go online. Just go Google it up and look at it. Look for the many articles that are now being written about it. You link to it. You have to put an email address in.
But free?
You can play with it. Right now it's free. You can play with it. But a much, much more powerful version is coming along in the not distant future, as far as we know, and that may at some point become something else. But right now is the time to get in there, play with it. It's absolutely mesmerizing.
Yeah. And yet, I mean, part of me is like, something's going to go wrong here.
Well, something always goes wrong.
Right?
At least it'll be able to tell us why.
I just feel like we're at the beginning of the Jurassic Park of
Yeah,
the
we are.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Right? Nature finds a way. All right, Tom.